Do you guys remember back in the day when we used to do vlogs on this channel? Because if you do, you're an OG and I love you. But you remember how we did like videos about my week and like I told stories and I reviewed stuff, but they were always like 20 minutes long and like eventually I got sick of them? I kind of miss it again. So what I want to do, my idea and my plan is I want to do that again, but I want to keep it nice and short, under a minute. So I'm going to post it on YouTube Shorts, maybe like stories about stuff that's happened to me recently. Because I know, I like telling stories. It's like Twitter, but people actually watch it. And I just think it sounds like fun. If you guys want that, let me know and I'll make it. I want to try posting it a couple times a week. Because, you know, talking into a phone is fun. And I like interacting with people. So, yeah. Hopefully expect that. Or you never see this video and I never did it. So, I guess we'll never know. Okay, story time. My brother made me mad right now, so I'm going to tell a story about him. So if you guys remember correctly, I'm half white, half Mexican. Mom's 100% Mexican, dad's 100% white. So recently, me, my brother, and my mom, we went to Mexico to go to the vet because it's cheaper there. Anyways, my brother and I both speak Spanish pretty well, I would say. But for some reason, my brother refuses to speak Spanish. I look bald right now. I have hair, I swear. Anyways, my brother refuses to speak Spanish. I don't know why. He has a certificate, like in high school, saying he speaks Spanish. So when we go to a restaurant and we start ordering food, I order in Spanish because obviously I can order my own food in Spanish. But he starts ordering it in English. Like, you know damn well how to speak Spanish. So why the hell are you speaking in English? And the waiter looks confused because obviously he doesn't speak English. And then my brother, like, repeats himself in English. And then my mom had to help him. It's like, why do you go to Mexico full well knowing you speak Spanish and start speaking in English? Like, why? Like, if you know the fucking language, speak it. Is that just me? Am I being an asshole? I don't know. Story time. So I'm back in college again. Right now, this is my night class. It's an audio editing class on Pro Tools. I know how to audio edit already, but it's on a software called Pro Tools, which is like industry standard. I've never used it before because it's expensive. So I took this class. Anyways, right now in class, we're learning the super basic stuff, which I know how to do already. So we had to do a project where in like 2 hours of class time, we had to do a radio edit, which is just vocals and like sound effects mixed in. It took everyone else a while because everyone's like learning. And I swear to God, I did it in like 30 minutes and my professor saw it and he's like, you did it so fast. It's really good. And I'm like, thank you. He's like, how'd you do it? I'm like, I do this shit in my sleep, dog. Like, it's fucking easy for me. I didn't say it like that because I'm not an asshole. I'm just like, I don't know. It's just fun for me, I guess. And he's like, I guess you can go home now. And I'm like, shit, okay. So now I'm 2 hours early out of class and I guess I'll just go home because I'm a fucking G. So if you're watching this, that means my videos finally started getting uploaded. And I'm recording this at a more recent date. But if you notice, the dates on the other videos are kind of old. I think the oldest I have are like 2 weeks ago. It's not because I'm awful at editing and I'm lazy. I was just trying to find a good format for this. So like editing it, I added subtitles through Instagram because I didn't know that was a thing till now. But basically, I had technical difficulties, and I was trying to find a good format. For some reason, whenever I upload iPhone footage to my computer onto, like, Premiere or something, the colors look super flat. And it's not just because I have a PC. It's, like, Mac to Mac, even if I do that, it looks awful. So I just got to keep everything on my phone. I've been using this app called Premiere Rush, which is cool. So I'm editing on that. But, yeah, if you're wondering why some of the videos are old, you're probably not. No one actually cares about this. But if you were wondering, that's why. So, yeah. Some of you are probably wondering, Andrew, what's your goal with this series and why are you doing it? Well, I have no goal and I have no idea why I'm doing this. I just want to talk into a camera and hopefully that entertains you somehow with my stupid stories like I tell. Like I said, you watch the vlogs, I did something similar. Now I'm doing something that's super easy and I can upload like every once in a while. So yeah, watch them, please. Also, if you ever lost on the context of my videos, most of these stories are stuff I've probably posted on Twitter or shown on Instagram. So follow me on Instagram and or Twitter, or both. I'll leave the description or the links in the description. But yeah, I want to make more of these, so I hope you guys join me for my little life journey of stupidity. Thank you. So if you guys follow me on Twitter and Instagram, if you don't, here are the links. I've got a new dog recently, and by recently I mean like Christmas time. It's a husky, and I call her a wolf. Anyways, I wanted to share some fun stories about her. So my dog is an absolute fucking crybaby. Like, she will howl if she doesn't get, like, attention or anything. So in our first couple of nights of having her, it'd be like 3 o'clock in the morning and she'd be upset because no one's awake and paying attention to her. So she would start howling for no reason. And then it just woke the whole house up and everyone got mad. It's like, what do you want? And she just looks at us, wags her tail, and is like, we can't be mad at that. You can't be mad at that. It's fucking adorable. She's gotten better now though, but she's still a massive crybaby. And if I don't walk her like at her normal time, she'll literally just look at me with like the most beating eyes possible and is like, why aren't you fucking walking me, human? I swear to God, I know when you sleep, and I will howl the entire goddamn night. So right now I'm having car problems. My check engine light's on, which isn't that big of a deal. So I go to AutoZone and I do a little plug-in thing, and then this other guy walks in, and then he notices me printing out the paper of what I need. And he's like, oh, I have that same problem. But the way this guy talked, he talked in like, I don't know how to describe it. Like all his words were like combined in the one singular word and one singular breath. And like, it was a blob. So him going, oh, I have that same problem too, was more like, oh, what's your brother? And I was just like, yeah? I struggled to understand him. And then he kept talking. And I'm just like, yeah, okay, bye now. I swear to God, I legitimately cannot describe how this man talked. I just know I understood like one word out of all his sentences. So I want to tell the story about how my mom annoyed me the other day. Love my mom, great human being, but she kind of annoys me sometimes. So we were going to go to the mall in our area because I had to do some errands there. So she had to drop off a box at like Nordstrom or whatever, and I had to go to Macy's to pay off something. So I drop her off at Nordstrom because she's like, mijo, while I go to Nordstrom, you can go to Macy's and start doing your thing. And I'm like, okay. So I drop her off at Nordstrom, go to Macy's, not even like a 5-minute drive, probably like 3 minutes away. I get in there and immediately I get a call from her and she's like, where are you? And I'm like, in Macy's. And she's like, well, I'm done. Come get me. And I'm like, I just got here. And then she hits you with the guilt trip. She's like, okay, I'll just freeze out here then. And it's like, at that point, what can I do? Like, I have to stop everything and go get her, or else I'm gonna feel the wrath. You know what I mean? Like, she sets you up for those traps, and you can't fall for those traps. So then I left, went there immediately, and then she's like, you can go back to Macy's if you want. I'm like, no, we're done here. It's okay. Love you, Mom. So, again, I'm recording more videos, because why wouldn't I? I just want to know, like, what are some stuff you guys would, like, want me to talk about on this, like, channel mini talk stuff? Do you guys want to, like, ask me questions or something? Like, I don't really know what I'm doing. Genuinely, I'm just literally just talking into a camera. Like, I don't have any plans. I just want to talk into a camera, and people like it, hopefully. So, like, what do you guys want me to do? Like, give me some comments. Give me some questions. Give me something, you know? I'm going to run out of ideas eventually. Like, my life's not that exciting. So, yeah, just communicate, interact with me, please. So I've been playing the new Madden football game recently, and I've been playing Madden for basically like my entire life. I started with Madden 08, which is forever ago. Anyways, I just wanted to say, every year the new Madden comes out, I feel like it's just getting absolutely worse and worse. And it might be because I'm still on old gen, not the new gen stuff, but like, it's just so bad. Like, the gameplay, like, the core gameplay of football is just, like, the worst it's ever been. Like, the computer AI is literally the stupidest thing humanly possible. Like, for example, if I'm playing in career mode, I'm a quarterback, and I hand the ball off to my running back, he'll see, like, there'll be, like, a giant hole in the offensive line. And instead of running through that hole, he'll run, like, directly into a defender. And it's like, why? It's not even a bad running back either. It just makes the stupidest decisions possible. And it pisses me off that this game that I've loved for so long is absolute crap. That's all I want to say. So right now in my Pro Tools audio class, we're taking a lot of these quizzes, which are like based off our final exam, which is the Avid Pro Tools certification exam, which basically like says you know how to use the program. And it's made by like the Avid parent company. Anyways, the questions they make on that are so like annoyingly confusing and worded like stupidly to like screw you up. Like, there'll be questions that are like, how many possible tracks of audio can you use on the Pro Tools Studio version specifically of Pro Tools? And it's like, I don't know. And then you answer it, and then the answer was something like 1,000 possible tracks. And I'm like, first of all, why would I need to know how many tracks I can possibly use on Pro Tools to say I know how to use Pro Tools? And secondly, why would I ever need to use 1,000 tracks of audio? I'm not composing the next Beethoven symphony. It just seems really stupid to me. Right now I'm in Vista because I just hosted a trivia show. I don't know if I ever mentioned on this channel that I host trivia, but I host trivia at bars. Anyways, I just want to talk about how much I've driven today, because I literally woke up at 7 a.m. to drive my mom and my aunt to the airport in San Diego. And because of traffic, it took me 2 hours and then 2 hours back to get home. And then I had a couple hours at home for myself. And then I drive all the way to Vista, which is almost an hour away. And then now I'm going to drive back home, which is another hour. So in total, I've driven like 6 hours today. So my butt hurts basically. And I've been sitting down like mostly all day. But I did get Handel's ice cream, which is like the best ice cream you can get. So basically my butt hurts and I'm fat. That's the moral of the story today. And I know how to drive pretty well. I almost had like a mental breakdown in my class today, my audio editing class. So we were doing this project as always, editing audio, and like somehow, some way, I think the program we're using, Pro Tools, like messed up. Cause I was trying to delete the selection in audio, and when I deleted it, when I would play, I would still hear the part I deleted, but it didn't show. And then like my timeline became unsynced, so the playback wasn't playing what I was hearing. I honestly don't know what happened, but like my brain is already at like 20% capacity because I've been tired all day. And I wanted to pull my fucking hair out. And I was just like, this is a next week problem. I'm not doing this. And I left class like 10 minutes early because I was like, I'm not doing this today. I literally have no idea what happened and what went wrong. I just knew I didn't want to deal with it right now. So I had to tell this story / rant to you guys. So yesterday I'm driving home at night because I have a night class, and it's been raining a lot in California, which is cool, I guess. But sometimes people in this state do not know how to drive properly. I want you guys to know, if it's ever dark, never ever drive with your high beams on if there's people around you. Never drive with your high beams on, because I'm driving, it's one lane going that way, one lane going that way. I'm driving that way. Another car comes by the opposite way with their high beams on, and it blinds me for a good 5 seconds because my light, all I can see are bright lights. So then when they finally drive past me, I'm about to run into a ditch because I couldn't see a single thing. So I had to swerve my car out the way. I almost died because someone decided it was a good idea to turn their high beams on. Never turn your high beams on because you're going to kill somebody. I almost died. So yeah, that's why I was kind of upset about that. Never turn your goddamn high beams on. I just wanted to come on here and talk about my trivia job. If you guys remember, I have a job where I host trivia. And recently I've had really good sized crowds, but they've been really kind of like low energy. And I feed off the crowd's energy. So when they're high energy, I'm high energy. But if they're low energy, I try my best to like make them high energy. So I'll like counter with my jokes and all that. But recently people have been really like, I guess, shy and don't really want to be like super boisterous. That's a word, right? I think so. And like whenever people like don't like have high energy, it makes me kind of like, I guess, self-conscious a little bit because I feel like they're not having fun. Because I like the immediate responses of like people laughing or people like bantering with me. But after the show, then I get people who like go, oh, your trivia show was so much fun. Great job. And it makes me feel better. But I'm more of an instant gratification kind of guy. But yeah, I guess in a way it's don't overthink things, you know. If you're good at what you do like I am, it'll work out. That's my inspiration for today. So right now I'm working on this certificate in my college, and a certificate's kind of like a mini degree, I guess. And right now I'm currently in the last class I need to get that certificate. So I talked to my counselor for the first time like ever here in college. I don't know why. It's been like 4 years. But I was talking to her and we were going over like the classes I would need to get it, which I know already. And apparently, this is funny, apparently this class I'm taking right now is no longer required to get my certificate. So I could have already had my certificate because the picture I was using as like my goal picture was outdated. So this whole time I've been taking a class that I don't even need. I'm going to finish it still, but I don't know. It's just weird to me, but I don't know. That's probably why I should check more often to see if it's outdated, but whatever. So I got another my mom kind of annoyed me story. I might have a lot of these on my channel one day, but I want you to know I love my mom. She can just be a little, you know. But I did the grocery shopping for my family, So my mom has a list of things she needs. Specifically, she wanted celery. So I go to the store, and apparently they're out of celery. I don't know how you're out of celery, but I tell my mom that, and she's like, go ask somebody then. And I'm like, okay. So I ask somebody. They're like, no, we're out. So I'm like, okay. And I tell her that, and she's like, well, then look harder. And I'm like, what do you mean look harder? They're out. Well, I can't look harder for something that's not there. And then she's like, okay, we'll just figure it out. Figure it out? What do you want me to do? Grow it in the back? It's like, I don't understand what you want me to do. Like, you want me to plant the seeds, wait 3 months, come back and grow it? Like, what? You ever have that when your mom, like, tells you to just figure something out, like, makes it your problem? It's like, what do you want me to do? I still don't know what she wants me to do. I have breaking news for you guys right now. This is happening as we speak. But my new dog, I've talked about, my husky, she is adorable, she is beautiful, but she's also a giant ball of anxiety and stress. So whenever we're gone, she's bouncing off the walls, howling, and she wants to be left outside like 24/7. But we're gone, especially today, because I'm gone in school all day. My mom's at work, and my dad and my brother are gone for the week. And she loves my brother. I don't know why. But today, since my mom just got home, she got home and my brother's mattress was torn apart because she chewed or scratched right through it. And then she's also recently been like scratching at our wall where our back door is because she wants to get out. And then we come back today and there's even more scratches and like paint's falling off the back. So my little cute little husky dog is destroying our house, and it's a problem. It's a problem. She's so cute, but it's a problem. So I want to tell you guys a story about why I was late to class yesterday. So I was already running late, and I park in the parking garage, and I got to walk to my class. And I started walking while I'm listening to music, and these two guys approached me for no reason whatsoever. And they're like, so what kind of headphones are those? And I'm like, oh, just some random ear pods or something. And he's like, oh, that's cool. What are you listening to? And I was like, oh, I was listening to this song, blah, blah, blah. And then he was like, oh, that's cool. So can I talk to you about Jesus Christ? And I was like, but like, I'm the nicest, most patient human being on the planet. So I was like, sure. But like I said, I was running late. So then I was like, and then they were talking for a while. So I was like, I actually have to get to class, guys. And then they're like, oh, no worries, we'll follow you. So they literally walked with me like all the way to my class. And at the end, they're like, so do you want to come join our church? And I was just like, listen, guys, I'm gonna be honest. No. And they're like, oh, okay. And then they walked away. I was like, cool, thanks. So while we're on the topic of people approaching me when I don't want them to, this happened a while ago. I put it on my Twitter, but this is when I was taking my dog to the dog park. And I met this lady here, and we were having a conversation. And then at some point, she was like, can you, like, back away, like, 2 feet? And I was like, okay. And she's like, I'm sorry. I can just feel your phone's radiation hitting me. And I'm just like, what? And then she goes on about how she can feel, like, electronic pulses. And then she brings out some fucking meter she has. And she starts, like, measuring the radiation on my devices. And we literally talk for like 40 minutes about how like everything in my house slowly kills me. And like, I'm so like patient and like nice with people, I guess. I listened the whole time. And when I told my dad this story, he was like, don't listen to that kind of people. They're going to corrupt your mind. And I'm like, Dad, I'm not stupid. Obviously, I'm not going to start joining some cult. Okay, I have a lot of videos to go through right now because I haven't recorded it all last week and I got a lot to talk about. So if I'm wearing the same clothes for the next like 5 videos, it's because it's the same day. Anyways, this is a story about my dog and how I caught her playing with a mouse. So it happened first with my brother where he was walking my dog and then she started playing with a mouse, but she was actually like mutilating it and he didn't notice. So he took it away from her. And then a couple days ago, she's playing in the park that I took her to. And then she's like, has something in her mouth. So I'm like, what are you doing? So she brings it over, drops it in front of me. Dead mouse. I don't know if she killed it. I don't know if she found it dead, but it was a dead mouse. So I was like, ew. So I took it away from her, or I told her to get away from it. And then I got like, I had a glove on and I got like one of those doggy bags. I went to go pick it up, but I stood over it for like 30 seconds because I was like, this is disgusting. Like I picked up so much poop in my lifetime. I think I should be okay with it. But like picking up a dead mouse was like just more disgusting to me. So I like picked it up by like its feet and it was like dangling. And then I threw it away. And then my dog came back trying to find it. And I was like, no, It's gone forever. Okay, I have a hopefully funnier, brighter story. So last week I went to Knott's Berry Farm because Daisy's work got her free tickets. Shout out to Daisy. She couldn't go though, so I brought our mutual friend who I'm just like introducing myself to. So we don't know each other like super well, or at the time we didn't. So I go over to her house because I'm picking her up and we're going to have breakfast there. So she texted me and she's like, I left the front door open. So when you get here, just walk in. So I'm like, okay. So I get there and I text her to like, say here to like let her know I'm here. But she never replied to me. So I was like, okay. So I just walk into the front door and I see her like cooking and you can see the front door from the kitchen, but she had her back turned to me. So like, I didn't know what to do. I was just like, do I call out for her or like, do I just walk in? So like during that thought process, she turns around and sees me just standing there and she fucking screams like out loud. And like, it scared me because I didn't know what to do. I was like, how do I react in this situation? And she's like, oh, it's just you. And I'm like, yes, it's just me. It was the most awkward situation of my life. That's not true, but like, it's top 3 at least. Okay, continuation on my Knott's story. So I went to Knott's Berry Farm and it was fun, but a lot of stuff was closed, and that's probably why the tickets were free. But like there was a whole section of the park that was closed because they were renovating it. It was like the Fiesta Town or whatever the hell they call it. And like 2 of the best rides were closed. First was my favorite, the Ghost Rider, and the second one was the Accelerator. Now I've been to Knott's Berry Farm like 4 times in my lifetime, and every single time I go, the Accelerator is always closed. It is never open. I don't know if it's never open in general. I just know that when I go, it is not open. So not only was an entire section of the park closed off, 2 of the best rides were closed. So it was still a fun day. Don't get me wrong. But like, how are you going to close an entire section of a park and like all its best rides and still charge full price? I assume they charge full price still. And they closed the park at 6. I usually get closed at night, but now they close it at 6. I don't know why. Okay, final part to our trilogy story. After Knott's Berry Farm, me and my family go to a diner. This diner was called Goodfellas, and it was named after like the movie Goodfellas, so like everything was mafia themed. Really nice place, but when we sat down, we realized we were like the youngest people there by like the margin of like at least 15 years. And like they had live music playing too, and I was just hoping they wouldn't like seat us by it because like I didn't want like loud music play in my ear. They sat us directly in front of the band, so it was like impossible to talk to each other because there's this loud music blaring in our ears. But besides that, the food and the service was actually really good, and I would really recommend going there. It's on the 91 somewhere. But like, I think we ordered in the first like 5 minutes of sitting down, and the food got brought out in like 15 minutes. Like, it was really good, really quick service. I just don't know for the right demographic for it. But yeah, I thought it was good. So I have something kind of weird but also cool happening to me right now. So recently I made a new TikTok. When you'll see this video, it'll probably be like a month old, but for me it's recently. I made a new TikTok and I've been posting there. Go check it out. But a lot of people use TikTok, obviously. So when I go to trivia now, I have some people with like their kids and they'll be like, hey, I saw you on TikTok. And that's just weird to me, right? Because like TikTok and like my job are like separate worlds to me. So like when someone tells me they watch my videos, it like creeps me the hell out. And then I had one lady, older, probably like 40s, they told me they liked my YouTube channel and they subscribed to it. And like, I don't know, that's just weird to me. Yes, it's like I don't picture and imagine people watching my videos. But like, it's also really nice to know people watching my videos. So it was a weird but cool thing to happen to me, I guess. Okay, one more story. This is something that's been happening for a while now, but it's also happened today. So right now I'm in my like 4-hour grace period between my 2 classes. So I got like find things to do. So I go to get lunch and I always go to the same place. Really good burgers, really good like shakes, super cheap. So I go there. Anyways, every single time I get a shake there and I go to like suck on my straw, there's always a puncture in my straw. Like here, I can show you. Let me see if you can see. It's like, there's like a puncture in my straw on both sides, right? So whenever I go to suck it, I can't like get any shake through. So I gotta put my whole like, I gotta like shove it in my mouth basically to suck on it. Which sounds really gross, but it's what I have to do. So I don't know if they're like intentionally puncturing my straw, maybe because they hate like making shakes, or if it's just like a random coincidence. But I've been going there for the past like 4 weeks straight. Every time I get a shake, there's a hole in my straw. And it's annoying, but also I deal with it, but it's annoying. This might be a 2-part video, but whatever. This is how I got scammed the other week. So I have this antivirus software, or I had it at least. And I've had it for the past like 4 years. Good service, $60 a year, not bad. And this year I get the bill. They didn't warn me about the renewal or like anything like that. but the price was $160 charged on my credit card without letting me know that it was increased by $100 and without letting me know my auto renewal came up. But I paid for it because I had to. It was auto renewed. And then I'm just like, what the heck? So I go to email somebody. They have no emails on their websites. And and I found an email and I emailed it and I got a bot reply and it sent me a link to a website, which is just an FAQ. So I was like, what the hell? Who am I going to contact? So I contacted my bank. Is like, can I cancel this? And they're like, no, but you can file a dispute, but you got to cancel all your credit cards. And then you got to wait like 3 months and you might get your money back. So I'm like, no. So I got scammed out of $160. Part two to the story of how I got scammed. So I was pretty sad and mad because I just lost a lot of money. So I basically just gave up because I didn't think there was anything I could do. But my friend was like, hey, have you tried their Twitter? And I was like, Twitter? That's a good idea. I go to the page. Every single comment is basically someone just cussing them out for taking their money. So I was like, this seems like a good path. So I added them on Twitter. I was like, hey, you just took all my money. I want it back. Screw you, you scam artist. And a couple days later, I got someone's attention because I got a reply and they're like, hey, DM us. So I was like, okay. So I tried DMing them. They don't pop up. So I'm like, hey, I can't DM you. And they're like, well, we can't DM you either. So here's the email. So I emailed that. And I was like, listen, I want my money back. I want you to cancel my subscription. I want you to cancel auto renewer and lose my credit card number. A couple days later, they're like, okay. And then, yeah, I got my money back. So I was like, cool. So basically, don't use Total AV. And if you're ever mad about something, use Twitter because everyone uses Twitter when they're mad. Let me tell you guys a tale of how I almost died on my last trivia day because I'm an idiot. So basically, my mixer that I use for audio, where I plug my mic in and all that, it's powered by a cable, and that cable has metal prongs in it that you, like, plug into. Those metal prongs got bent, so I was trying to fix it by, like, straightening them out. So I put my finger in there and tried straightening it out. Wasn't working, so I was like, okay. So I pulled out my knife, my metal knife, very important, metal knife, and then as I was going to put it in to the prongs to try to fix them, my brain kicked in, and I was like, did I unplug this first? And while thinking that, my hand was still moving, and I touched the metal prong, and it went, and I felt a shock in my hand, and I was like, shit, and I dropped the knife, and then my brain just kicked in, and I was like, yeah, I almost died, and I'm a fucking idiot. So yeah, don't touch metal with electricity, kids. That's how you die. Okay, I gotta tell this story because it just happened, and I am mad. Okay, so I go to AutoZone because I need two things to replace in my car: my drive belt and my back right blinker light. Right. My car is a 2012 Chevy Equinox LT 4-cylinder, and it has one drive belt, right? That's important. I pull up, there's two people working, right? There's this guy and then this low-key cute girl. And with my male brain, I had to be like, okay, I gotta impress this girl with my fake car knowledge. So I'm like, this is what I need, a drive belt. And he's like, okay, so which drive belt do you need? And I'm like, I'm pretty sure there's only one. And he's like, no, there's two. And I'm like, oh, well, the one for the engine? Because I was thrown off. Like, the one for the engine? And he's like, they're both for the engine. And now the girl notices I don't know what I'm talking about, so she walks away. And I was like, damn it! Mission failed. And then the guy checks again while she walked away, and then he was like, oh, wait, never mind. You're right, there's only one. And I was like, in my head, I'm like, why would you embarrass me? I was trying to look good, and you embarrass me, you betray me, the bro code isn't real, and now I'm upset. Do you guys remember one of the last videos I made where I talked about how I electrocuted myself at trivia? Well, I have a kind of a follow-up. So this week I come back. I don't electrocute myself again, thank God. But one of the prong things I talked about broke, so I got a new cord, and when I went to go plug it into my mixer, there was something stuck from the old cord still in the outlet, the female part. So I was like, so I tried digging it out. And then my show was about to start, but I was still trying to, like, unscrew all the stuff and try to take it out myself. Wasn't working. So I was like, so I had to use, like, my full 90% of my brain to think of a solution. And my speaker I have, luckily has Bluetooth. So I plugged in my phone, or I connected my phone to play music. And then I figured I could try putting my mic through the speaker. And it worked. I got the mic plugged into the speaker and I solved it. Everything went great. And I feel smart. And I'm a pretty good problem solver in general, but I should have double checked before that my mixer was working, and I didn't because I was lazy. So always double check and make sure things, kids. I've had a day today. I'll get into it, but right now I am in Long Beach right now because I have a trivia show I had to do. Right now I'm doing it because I'm on spring break and I'm trying to work as much as possible. So I was like, yeah, sure, sign me up. I thought I'd have a daycation today. I didn't, but I'll get into that. But whenever I go to a new show, subbing for the first time, like, I've never been to Long Beach that much. I think I've been to Long Beach, like, once in my lifetime. But I always feel, like, kind of, like, I guess, nervous when I'm in a new place. So, like, I was trying to like get a feel of things. The bar was super nice, but they told me where my spot was, but there was a person in my spot, and I didn't want to like be rude and kick him out. So like I stood there for like 10 minutes, just like on my phone, just like in the corner. And then I was like, what am I doing? I've been doing this for like a year and a half. So I just like, hey, can I like move stuff over a little bit? I got to work right here. And the guy was like, okay, that's fine. And then the show was great. Everyone was super nice. It was like 60 people, which is a lot. Manageable, but a lot. And overall, it was a great time. People liked me. And tomorrow I got to go to Seal Beach, which is right next door. Okay, but like I mentioned in the last video, I forget, but I was supposed to have like a me-cation today, like a vacation, but for me, I was supposed to go to this Japanese garden that was nearby on the campus, the Long Beach State campus, and it was super cool, but it's been raining a lot in California, again, as always, so I had to like, I guess I could have gone, but I was like, so I didn't go, but I was super sad about that, and then like, I had some like when I was on the freeway today. Like, I was driving and trying to merge into a lane, and I was like 3/4 into that lane, and then this one dude just next to me, so it's 3 lanes, right? I'm going to the middle lane. This dude tries to merge into my lane while I'm merging into it. No turn signal, no anything. But of course, I'm the one who moves out the way for some reason, so I get out, and then the dude just speeds off like an ass. I swear to God, people in California are the worst drivers. They're so entitled, and I hate it so much. But yeah, so that annoyed me. Okay, last thing. So tomorrow, like I said in one of the videos, I'm going to be in Seal Beach, which is right next to Long Beach. And tomorrow's also Padres opening day. And the game was supposed to start at 1:10. But like I said, it's raining in California right now. So the game got moved back till 6:40 p.m. And my show starts at 7. So now I have to watch Padres baseball, if I can, in Seal Beach, which is close to LA, which means a lot of Dodger fans. Like I had Dodger fans in my show today. And like every time I have Dodger fans in my show, they have to feel the need to put like, if they don't know an answer, they put Padres suck. And like, ha ha ha, not funny. I always call it out though, because it does make a good joke out of it. And the guy was like, I'm just bantering. And I'm like, it's fine. But like, I have to watch baseball near LA, and I don't even know if they're going to show it while at work. So that kind of made me mad, but it disappointed me. It disappointed me. But yeah, it's still fun though. Long Beach is fun. It's a cool place. I'm pretty sure I mentioned this in the last video, but I had a trivia show today, this time in Seal Beach, which is like right next to Long Beach. And I am exhausted. So normally my shows at my place are around like 20 to 30 people, 30 if I'm lucky. This show had 25 teams and 100 people. I jumped from 30 to 100 people, and I've done it before. And like, the more people is manageable, but like once you get into the 100 range, that's when it becomes a little bit of a clusterfuck, right? Like this place, it was cool. It was an Irish bar, a real cool place. But I only had a dinky speaker, which is great for my venues, but not for a massive venue. So I had to keep adjusting the audio and making sure everyone could hear me, which was a pain in the butt. And I'll get into more in the next part because I want to keep these under a minute. So yeah, I'll see you in like 2 seconds. And for the most part, the show was pretty good. Sorry, this is part 2 of my trivia today. The show went pretty well. I had one moment where I had pissy old people, which is normal. But apparently the normal host here, they usually tell you when the free answer is going to happen, so people will know. The way I do it is I don't tell you when the free answer happens, so you have to like just figure it out basically, because there's a free answer in my trivia. So when I told them the free answer was this, like after the question, they were like, why didn't you tell us? And I was like, why would I tell you? That kind of defeats the purpose. So then they were pissy with that. And then this one guy who was like, are you going to be here next week? And I'm like, no, regular sub's back. And then he's like, good. And he walked away. I was like, what the f***? Why you gotta be so out of pocket with that? It's like, I'm sorry, I don't do the same exact thing as the host. I don't even know who the original host is. I wasn't told these things. But that, it didn't hurt my feelings, and I don't care. But it was definitely a dick move. Part 3, kind of, I guess. So the show went well, everything wrapped up. And then there's an ice cream place nearby. And I was like, I need to treat myself, right? Padres probably going to lose today. They haven't lost yet. They're probably going to lose. I had an exhausting show, and I got to drive 1 hour and 30 minutes to get home. I need a treat. I go to this ice cream shop, and I want a shake. I look at the price, $9. But I was like, no, I want this shake. I'm going to wait and get $9. And then, like, after 4 minutes of being in line and, like, not moving at all, I was just like, no. We can get shakes somewhere else. So my brain went from, I need to treat myself, to, Andrew, listen, you're not spending $9 on a shake that in all likelihood will just be okay. So, yes, it's important to treat yourself, kids, but don't bankrupt yourself doing it. Which is not, I'm not going to bankrupt over $9, but still, that's a lot of money for a shake. I want to tell a story I forgot to tell, and I just, like, remembered it for some reason. This is a while back. This is when I was on my way to go do a show in San Marcos for my trivia job. And I was on, like, this neighborhood apartment area, I guess. And I was watching this lady walk her dog. But, like, her dog, I guess, I don't know if she got something stuck in her paw or it was just hurt. But it was, like, limping one paw and then walking with the other three. And I'm like, lady, look at your dog. And you're like, the lady looks at the dog and does absolutely nothing about it. She just looks at the dog and it goes, oh well. And then continues walking. It's like, what would you do if I just took a hammer and broke your goddamn leg and then made you keep walking? Like, check on your f***ing dog. Like, why is that hard? Like, clearly it's struggling. And that just makes me mad, honestly, because I'm a huge dog person. I would save a dog over a human any day. Okay, I want to talk about my family and food, right? So growing up, I was always super picky, I guess, with food. And then when I grew older, I realized that I wasn't actually picky. It's just that my parents didn't cook very well growing up. My dad especially does not know how to cook very well. Like, he's literally the kind of guy who'll just throw anything together and just like, hey, that's a meal, and eat it, which is fine, cool for him. But like, this one conversation we had a couple years ago where he was cooking like chicken pot pie or something, I forget what. And I was like, Father, why don't you like season the chicken before cooking it? And he just looks at me and he's like, you can do that? And it's like, yes, Father, you can season chicken before cooking it. And then another thing, I used to dislike guacamole a lot. Like, I've never touched guacamole. And I realized it wasn't because I don't like guacamole, it's because I don't like my mom's guacamole. Because literally her guacamole, and she told my brother this, is literally just avocado and water and salt, and then you crush it up. And then I tried real guacamole, and I was like, this is so much better. Like, honestly. Part 2 of food, because I'm not done. It's weird, right? I'm half Mexican, half white, like I've said before. So my dad being white and afraid of seasoning, that's normal, right? According to stereotypes of humans. But my mom, she's full Mexican from Mexico. And I feel like she does so many dishes. I don't want to say poorly. I don't want to be mean. My mom, she can cook, right? But I feel like she doesn't put much effort into cooking. Like when she'll make enchiladas, when she cooks the chicken, she doesn't put any spices. She doesn't put like onions, anything. She just boils the chicken. So then the sauce, enchilada is literally just boiled chicken and like tortilla with oil with like some green salsa on top. And it's like, no wonder I didn't like enchiladas. I like enchiladas now. I like enchilada red sauce. I like enchilada green sauce. It's like, I don't know. I guess just my childhood was filled with lies about the true potential of food. And that's why I'm the cook in my house now. Like, I literally cook for my family because I learned how to make stuff thanks to Chef Gordon Ramsay. Follow him on TikTok. So I was watching Oversimplified on YouTube. If you haven't seen them before, it's a great channel. I was watching the Cold War videos, and it got me thinking about, like, if we had, like, social media back in the day, it'd be, like, it would be awful, I think, because the world was so paranoid back then, and, like, Twitter already is just, like, a cesspool of just paranoia and just, like, just shit in general. So, like, imagine, like, during the Cuban Missile Crisis or something, like, just checking Twitter to see, like, if we're gonna get blown up and start World War III, like, the paranoia that would cause. Like, someone on, like, a U.S. boat was just tweeting the whole time, like, we're about to launch a nuke, keep you guys updated. And the replies are just, like, a bunch of memes or something. Or just that, and, like, maybe, like, cancel culture. Like, we have cancel culture now, but, like, back in the day, like, we had McCarthyism, which was basically, they're gonna hunt down communists. So if you're wanting to cancel someone, just call them a communist. That was like the worst thing you could do to somebody. Just accuse them of being a communist. And just imagine Twitter was just a bunch of people calling each other communists. Like, that'd be awful, right? I haven't recorded a video in like 2.5 weeks because I've been so busy with school and other stuff, and I was sick all last week, and now I'm like behind on everything. So I'm gonna bust out a lot of videos today and hopefully over the next week. So if you see me wearing the same clothes a lot, it's because it's the same video. But a lot's happened recently. Like, I went to Vegas for my friend's birthday. Shout out Daisy. So you'll hear some stories about that. But yeah, just overall, I'm gonna be busy for like most of May. But I have a backlog of videos. So normally when I post a video, it's like a story from the month before. So I'm good. So I won't be falling behind or anything. But yeah, I just want to let you know to expect that. And I definitely just made an entire video just to say that you're gonna expect me wearing the same clothes. My channel, I'll do what I want. Okay, this just happened, and I gotta make a video about it because it annoyed me. So I was walking to my car in the parking garage, and I always park on the floor above ground level. So second floor, I don't know why I said it like that. And I was gonna go to the stairs, and then there's this random girl just sitting on the stairs, and I'm like, okay. And then I just go walk by and like scooch by her, and then she gave me a look that was like annoying her, or I was in the way. And I'm just like, you're literally sitting on the stairs of a college campus that is full of hundreds, if not 1,000 different seats with tables. And you're mad at me for being an inconvenience? You are blocking half the stairs, woman. Go to a table. Like, what are you doing sitting on the floor of a parking garage? It's filthy. Like, am I in the wrong? Like, do you understand what I'm saying? God. I'm annoyed. I'm a little annoyed. This first topic is something I've been thinking about recently while driving on the highway a lot. Some driving etiquette, because I feel like people should get a refresher on it. This is all stuff my dad's taught me over the years. But one thing, mostly this is about the passing lane. But if you're not going at least 80 miles per hour in the passing lane, that lane's not for you. Like, get out. Like, yes, 80 is speeding, but it's like socially acceptable speeding. It's okay speeding, depending on what kind of officer pulls you over. But if you're not going fast enough, get out of the passing lane, honestly. Another thing that I feel like people don't know, which is common courtesy, is what I was told. If you're in the passing lane and you're going at a good speed, but you can tell someone else coming behind is going much faster, it's actually up to you to get out of the passing lane so they can pass you, and then you can merge back. That way, it's more like controllable, the situation. Because if they got to merge going super fast, they might swerve out. But if you just move over and they go by, it's good. Driving etiquette. So a couple weeks ago, me, my dad, and my brother, we had a boys' night because mom was out of town. And we went to a Mexican restaurant place. And we had a few beverages, you know, little bevs. And this restaurant, really good, but they had a thing my dad hated, which was an automatic 20% charge for like a tip. They charge directly from your bill. And my dad didn't like that, mostly because a couple things. He wanted to know that the staff actually got that 20% and that the management didn't just take it. And he was also mad that they didn't have a sign posted on the outside saying that rule, and you don't find out until you get seated. So my brother and my dad had this like argument at the table about that kind of thing. And my dad at one point literally called over the staff and he was asking them questions. And then when the guy was like, do you want to talk to my manager? And my dad did a full Karen and was like, yes, I want to speak to your manager. And then had the manager clarify all his questions of like, does the staff actually get the money? Why don't you have it posted? It was like, it wasn't embarrassing, but it was definitely like a hashtag facepalm moment. But you know, my dad's cool. So this happened a couple weeks ago. I was walking my beautiful, amazing husky dog, Lobita. If I ever say Lobita, it's my husky dog. And we were walking on this dirt path, and I was on my phone trying to switch songs. In the corner of my eye, I saw this little furry thing on the ground, but my dog saw it first. So with her reaction time, she went and snatched it up, and I was like, what the hell is that? It was a mouse. And then she started like playing with it. Actually, she was mutilating it. And then when I finally got her to drop it out of her mouth, the mouse was just like twitching, and then dead. And I was like, you literally just killed a mouse in front of me. I wasn't like mad. I think I was just shocked that I just witnessed a murder right in front of me. And my dog just looked so happy. She was like, did I do a good job, owner? And I'm like, no, you did not do a good job. You just murdered a mouse. She's so cute though. She's so cute, but that's not okay. Another story, just assume that it's gonna happen a couple weeks ago. But me and Daisy, we went like grocery shopping together because I was gonna help her cook for like the week. And I noticed we do things differently at a grocery store. Like for example, one thing Daisy does, we went to like Trader Joe's. If she wants to grab something, she'll like leave her cart in like the middle of the walkway to go grab something. And Trader Joe's is super cramped, so there's like no room anywhere. So I would always have to like push my cart aside, or push her cart aside so people could get through. And then we went to my store, Stater Brothers, and one thing she hates that I do is I put my cart aside, but I'll walk away from it to go grab something. And she's like, why would you just leave the cart? And I'm like, why wouldn't I? No one's gonna steal anything. But I think it's for her because she leaves her purse in her cart. Obviously, I don't have a purse. So I guess it's just weird to think that she finds it weird that I leave my cart to go get something, and I find it weird that she just leaves her cart in the middle of everywhere. So I thought, you know, shopping differences. I thought that was cool. Another story. If you can tell from my videos, I got a haircut recently, so my hair is not all gross and long, I guess. I don't know. But I went to this place. It's not a new place, but the new like franchise opened near my house, Sports Clips. I don't know if you've ever been to a Sports Clip, I don't know. But they have this thing called like the MVP experience. And I went the first time because I got a free one because it was like a grand opening special or something. And basically they give you a haircut, they shampoo your hair, they give you a hot towel, and they give you a massage. And the first time I did it, I was like, that's cool, I guess. I like that. And then I went back again, but I didn't have a coupon. And again, the experience was great. I even got double towels. And when the final bill came out, it was $50, bro. $50. And I was like, I just had a great experience. But was it $50 worth? Kind of. It was. This is a recent story, but I want to talk about it. But the weather here in California has been so weird. It's like the weirdest it's been since I've lived here, and that's like 10 years. Like last week, it was averaging around like 85 to like 90 degrees Fahrenheit the entire week. Like it was so hot that I couldn't walk my dog during the afternoon because I was sweating and she was sweating. Well, she didn't sweat, she was panting. And I like took off my top blanket because I was getting too hot at night. And now this week, the average high of every day is like 62 degrees. How do we go from 85 degrees Fahrenheit all the way to 60 in the span of a week? Like, it started raining a little bit yesterday. Weather, make up your goddamn mind, bro. Are you gonna be hot or are you gonna be cold? I like the cold, so I can't complain, but still, damn. Okay, this is about taxes. Taxes passed a couple weeks ago, I think. I learned that because I am a trivia person, I am a technically self-employed, so I don't get taxes taken off. But apparently, there is a tax taken federally if you're self-employed. So I had to pay, well, originally I had to pay like $800 just because I was self-employed to the government. But I went to a cool tax guy and he helped me like get discounts basically. Because of like, I'm a student and like stuff I've bought for my self-employment. So I had to end up paying $300, which is a lot less. But like, why do I don't make enough money to like be taxable. I don't want to say how much I made, but like, I feel like I didn't make enough that the government should like take pity on me. You know what I mean? Like, why am I giving you money for being poor? Like, you should be helping me. Like, I just lost a lot of money because of you. Whatever, America. So this is going to be the Daisy's birthday weekend at Vegas portion of videos. So like 2 weeks ago, we went to Vegas. I've only ever been there once. So this is my first time going when I was over the age of 21. So like my first adult experience, I guess. So we stayed at a place called Treasure Island. I'm sure you know it. Our hallway smelled like piss and throw up combined. But I feel like that's also kind of like normal for Vegas. So I mean, I guess I don't go enough. But overall, it was a really good weekend. I'll tell you guys the stories in a sec. But this is like a intro to it, I guess. I don't know. But overall, good time. Vegas is it's all right, you know, if you're rich and good at gambling, I guess. But here's the rest of the stories. So that whole weekend of Vegas was basically spent like eating and having alcoholic beverages, you know, the normal Vegas experience. So we went to a brunch at like the Cosmo. There was like a poolside brunch place, I don't know, and there was other brunch place we went to that was like in the middle of nowhere or something. I don't know what it was called. It was cool, I guess. But the one thing I want to talk about is this bar we went to in Treasure Island called Señor Frogs. Now, the first red flag for this bar was that my ticket cost more than everyone else's, mostly because I was a man. I think it's also because I bought it the week before, but on the website, it was like woman's price, man's price. I was like, okay, cool, $80 down a drain. And they had this set list of drinks there. That was open bar, set list of drinks. All these drinks were mediocre at best. And I know I don't drink and I don't like alcohol, but even I knew these drinks were like watered down and just in general. So like, I don't recommend Señor Frogs, I guess. Please don't sue me, Señor Frogs, but you know, step it up. This might be a two-part video, but we went to this buffet in the Wynn. I think it's called the Wynn. It was some hotel. And it was like $80 per person, right? So the way we had to pay for things then, that whole weekend, was one person put it on their card, and then everyone else like sent them money, basically. But this time, it was my turn, right? So I paid for me and my friend Daisy, the birthday girl. And I ain't rich. I ain't afraid to admit it.
So I was low-key sweating that my card wasn't gonna go through. And then I go up to pay, I put my card in, and I was like, I was like sweating that I wasn't gonna go through. And it went through, and I was just like, yes. Like, I was cheering that I wasn't in poverty. And then I'll tell you right now, the lady's reaction working was priceless. I'll tell you right now, because I'm gonna run out of time. Part 2 of the story. So the lady, she looked at me like I did not belong there. She's not wrong, because I definitely do not belong there. But like, I don't know how she reacted. Like, she looked at me like cheering, like, yes, I'm not in poverty. It's like all these people around there are like in their like fancy business suits, probably pulling out their like platinum gold card, and you have some random dude like cheering that he's not in poverty. And like me and Daisy moved to the side, and I looked at Daisy, I'm like, Daisy, I'm so glad that went through. I didn't think it was. And then she's like, I know. I thought the same thing, bro. I never felt so broke in my life. That's why I don't belong in Vegas. I don't have the money for it. I swear to God, that lady should have been like, we got a broke person here. Everyone would have just stared at me. It was awful, bro. I mean, it was a good buffet, but that whole experience was just awful for me. Okay, one more story I want to tell. So at the end of the last night, I wanted to go for a walk because I haven't been to Vegas in so long. So I went to go walk around the strip, and I went the wrong way because I'm stupid. Like I should have gone right to see all like the rest of the strip, but I turned left. I don't know why. But I ended up walking to the Wynn. I think that's what it's called. I keep forgetting. And I went inside just to look at it, like all the stores, but they were all closed because it was super dark. So I just started walking around. I literally got lost inside a casino. Like, I walked a lot, and then I was like, okay, I'll just head back. And I was like, where am I? I had no idea where I was. I was like, I backtracked, and I could not find my way out, and I was way too stubborn to ask for help. It literally took me like 30 minutes to get out of that hotel. I could not find my way. And I think that's what it's meant for. I think you're supposed to get lost so you spend your money. But I had no money to spend. So like half my walk was just me being lost in a casino. Okay, last story for right now. Unless I think of more. But this is something that's been happening like over the course of a while, I guess. So like last month, we were supposed to have our midterm after spring break, which was like a month and a half ago. I don't even remember now. But we were supposed to take our midterm, but they pushed it back because they had to like update the system or something. I don't know. So we pushed it like 2 weeks. And then 2 weeks ago, we were supposed to take it. And then my teacher was like, hey, do you guys want to push the midterm back another week? And like the rest of the class was like, yeah. And I was like, no, but I got overruled. So last week we were supposed to take it, and I was sick. So that's the only reason I came to school, was to take it. And apparently they had a system glitch, so we couldn't take the midterm. So now this week, we're supposed to take the midterm, and I got to study for like the 15th time, which is cool, I guess. So, yeah, I might fail. I don't know. But I'm sick of this. I'm sick of this looming fear of taking this midterm. It sucks. I just had my final, and I want to talk about it. I got other stuff to talk about, but I want to talk about this first. So I'm in my editing class. I'm using a program called Media Composer, which is done through the Avid company. Our final tests are done through the Avid company like itself. So we have 50 questions. If you miss 10, you fail, right? So I was so underprepared for this quiz because I like stopped paying attention like halfway through the semester. And then I didn't even get the textbook for the class until like a week ago. And my last week, I didn't get it till last week. So I did like a whole entire like semester worth of studying in the 2 hours before class. So I crammed it, right? The test wasn't as bad as I thought it would be, but I still failed it. I missed 12, so I failed. And like my class thinks I'm super smart, which is great, right? Because I like helping people when I can. So they thought I was gonna like pass it. But then when I didn't, they were like, what? You of all people failed? Which is super flattering, right? Thank you for knowing I'm smart. But like, it was still surprising, right? Okay, part 2. So the weird thing about this class is that like, if you put me in front of the Media Composer program, I know what all the buttons are supposed to do and what they're called, but like, I can't actually like do it. Not for everything, but like, I know how to, how I'm supposed to perform this stuff, but I don't know how to actually do it on the program. Like, I'll get lost. So like, I guess the equivalent would be like if I knew all the rules of baseball, but you put me on the field and I don't know what I was doing. It's kind of like that, which is the opposite of how it is for like Premiere and DaVinci, which I know by heart. It's like, I know how to do everything and I'm pretty good at it, but like, I couldn't tell you like the buttons names or like the correct like definitions of stuff. So it's like I play the sport of baseball, but I don't know the rules, kind of. Does that make sense? And like my teacher, he did a good job teaching, but it was definitely this is his second job, right? He does editing in Hollywood, and he comes down and teach us. So like we did everything by the book. So I know the book inside and out, but I don't know the program inside and out. Does that make sense? So I have a lot of stories to go through right now because I've been super busy, so I haven't recorded again. I talked about today, but let me get into stuff that happened a couple weeks ago. For starters, a couple weeks ago, I had to record a dance in my mom's school because my mom's a teacher. It's her Cinco de Mayo dance. I've been doing it for a couple years now, but her class doesn't dance anymore, but she still asked me to record it. And like her school low-key takes advantage of her and me because they know that my mom's going to ask me to record it, but they don't pay me, right? So like they just know that I'm going to do it for them. So like, why would they hire somebody? Which is like completely taking advantage of me, right? But I can't say no because my mom asked me. My mom also realizes that though. So it's like a school is basically just taking advantage of a college kid by making them record their stuff for free. And then they make me edit. My mom makes me edit it and send it in like different versions for everybody. Complete waste. I don't say a complete waste of my time, but I feel like it's I don't know, taking advantage of my talents. It's annoying. But kind of like part two of this story. So on my way there, I had so many random things happen to me that like completely slowed me down and caused me to be a little late. So like, there was literally like 3 accidents on my way there. And one of them happened like right in front of me. And I barely, like, I don't say I barely got out of the way, but it was like 2 cars in front of me. And I saw like them crash basically. I had to go around them. And when I got through that mess, I was at a train crossing. What do you call them? I forget. But there was this train going by. This train was so massive, it literally took like 5 minutes for it to pass by. There was like 4 different locomotives pulling the entire thing. It took 5 whole minutes for it to go by, and that caused me to be a little late. And like, I told my mom everything, but obviously she doesn't believe me. She's like, oh, you're just making stuff up because you were late. But like, I swear to God, bro, like the universe was trying to hold me back from getting there on time. Next story I want to talk about. My family, we did like a family dinner, I guess. We went to this place called Black Bear Diner. I don't know if they have that everywhere. If you heard of it, that's cool. But we got like normal food and stuff. But my mom and my brother, they had this like prime rib special. And all the food, diner food, so mediocre at best. And then we got the bill. And my dad, because we're not a cheap family. But if you know me, you know I don't like spending money. I don't have to. I get that from my parents, right? My dad saw the bill. He literally almost had a heart attack. My brother and my mom's food, their prime rib was like $30 because they didn't even check the price of it. And like my parents were like, I was like freaking the fuck out, but they were definitely like sweating. And if you want to know where I get my cheapness from, it is there. But also, why is it $30 for a mediocre prime rib? Like, that's just asking to screw your customers over. I got a new dog, so now my husky has a friend. Big old dog. It's some kind of breed. That's a big word that I have no idea what it is, but it's like a European breeding dog. That's what a W or something. I don't know. Anyways, cute old dog. We found it. My brother found it randomly, like while walking my other dog. And this dog was a male, right? And my other dog, my Lobie, my wolf, is a female. So he literally tried to like mount her while my brother was walking. So we had to like separate them, and my dad had to go pick him up. I was at school when this whole thing happened, right? So I get home, and there's just a random dog in our backyard. And this dog wasn't neutered or anything. So how do I describe this PG? This dog was very active, and it's thrusting. It loved the thrust. Let's put it that way, right? It thrusted everything. It tried thrusting my dogs. That didn't go well because we stopped them. They started thrusting every like toy and cushion we had. Part 2 to this, because there's gonna be a couple parts. Part 2 to the dog story. So this dog, you know, he's thrusting everywhere. So we can't like keep him inside. So we kept him outside. And we go to the shelter to find out whose dog it is, right? Because they have a chip in them. Apparently whoever owned this dog never filled out the information. So the chip was just blank, right? So we had no idea whose dog it was. So the shelter has a rule where they keep it for 10 days. And if no one claims it, we keep them. So 10 days go by, no one claims them. So we just keep them, which is cool, but also kind of sucks. You know what I mean? But yeah, I call him a Hector. You got to put the emphasis on the order. Hector! I don't know why. But yeah, he's cute. I mean, we got him spayed and neutered. I got my Lobie spayed and him neutered. And he doesn't thrust anymore, so that's cool, I guess. But he's a very young 4-year-old hyper dog. He's cute. Has no chill, basically. Like if he sees you, he starts running towards you. Adorable, but does not leave you alone. He wants constant attention, but he's cute. One more thing I want to talk about with dogs. My family has like a blessing or a curse with dogs. So all of my dogs, I think all of them actually, are either strays or given to us. Like, we never adopt them. We just happen to get them. So we have a weird thing. I guess it's a weird thing. I think it's a blessing that whenever one of my dogs like pass away or something happens to him, we immediately get a new one, right? Like a couple years ago, we had my fat dog, my fatty. He died, and then like literally a week later, we find a new one, right? And then recently, one of my dogs passed away. And then we got Lobita because my uncle gave it to us. And then another one of my dogs died because my dogs are getting old. Another one died. And then like a month later, we have my new dog. So it's like, I don't want to say we never run out of dogs, but when we lose one, we gain a new one. And like, I love that, but also I'm sad that my dogs die. It's a whole thing, but I guess it's okay. I guess it's okay. This is more of like a story that happens all the time, but I want to talk about it. Do your guys' parents, if you have siblings, do your guys' parents ever get your name wrong? Like, I've been alive for 24 years almost at this point. My mom still gets my name wrong. Like, she calls me my brother's name. And it's like, you literally gave me this name? Like, at least say it right. You know what I mean? It's like, how hard could it be after 24 years? Like, I'm awful with names, right? Like, you need to give me your name a couple times before I remember it. But, like, after 24 years... you should be able to call me the correct name. Like, you gave it to me. Is that just me? Does anyone else have this problem? I don't know. It's not even a problem. Like, it doesn't even, like, make me mad or anything. It's just, like, I guess it's, like, an annoyance. I guess it's, like, a pet peeve. Like, I don't even care what people call me by name. But, like, my mom should be able to call my name correctly. Right? I don't know if this is just... I mean, maybe I'm going to ask. Who knows? So, this one happened last week. I went to San Marcos to do some trivia. And I was going to a place that used to be run by one person I trained and then got taken over by another person I trained. So when I got there, they were talking about the old host, and I was like, oh yeah, I know him. I trained him. And he's like, oh, that's cool. You know the new host? And I was like, oh yeah, I trained him too. And they were like, you trained both of them? And I'm like, yeah. Cause the thing is, right, I'm young compared to everyone else, right? So one thing that happens is like people, I don't want to say underestimate me, but I've been doing trivia for like a year and a half now. So I've seen a couple people come and go, and I've trained, I don't know, like 5 people. So I guess it's kind of a flex. You know what I mean? That they were like, wow, you trained both hosts who've been here? And I'm like, yes, I have. And they were great. Even though one left, but they were great. This next story will definitely make me uncomfortable. But a little known fact about me, I hate needles, right? I fucking hate needles. I'm not like afraid of them, but if I have to get a shot or something, I'll do it, but I'm gonna bitch about it the entire time, right? So I was talking to my dad about hating needles because my dogs have medicine that I have to give them. And I thought it was a syringe, but I thought it was like a needle. And I was like, I'm definitely not doing that. But my dad's like, no, it's just a regular syringe, right? So my dad told me the reason I probably hate needles is because when I was young, I almost died of pneumonia when I was like 6 months old. And apparently the doctors tried to like give me medicine through a syringe and like couldn't find my veins. So they kept trying to stab me until they found one. And my dad was like, no, stop poking holes in my child. So I guess subconsciously through the years, I've just always hated needles, right? And like, I literally can't even watch people get shots. Like I can't look, I fucking hate needles, bro. Oh, it gets me so uncomfortable. I can't do it. I don't know if anyone else feels this way, but I can't do needles. I wanted to talk about this last thing real quick that I keep forgetting to talk about. But like a month ago or so, when I went on the Daisy birthday party Vegas trip, at some point randomly, someone gave us a free energy drink to try. And I was like, cool. It was okay and stuff. Now, this next part is not an advertisement. I just want to talk about it, I guess. But this thing right here, right? It was okay at first when I tried it, but now I drink these like all the time, right? Like, I have a thing where like, I don't really get my like energy through liquids. Like, I don't like coffee. I'm not a big tea person. So I've always struggled with like keeping energy. But like, now I drink so many of these energy drinks that it's probably not good for me. Which is why if you've noticed, I was super hyper these past couple of videos. It's because I'm downing these because I wanted to pass my final, which I did. But like I relied on my youth to get me through things, but I'm getting old now. Like I need help. I need liquid, and I can't do coffee because coffee's fucking disgusting. So this is the story of why I'm stupid. So recently I've been going through this whole debacle about how I haven't received my state refund yet from my taxes. So I called my tax guy a while ago and he's like, wait a little bit. So I waited a little bit, still didn't receive it. So I called him again and he's like, okay. So he called the state and they're like, where's his refund? And then he's like, oh, the bank already received it because they called the bank. And the bank was like, yeah, we got it. But I don't got it, right? It's not in my bank account. So the state tells me to go to the bank. So I go to the bank today right now and I tell them the problem. I was like, I haven't gotten the money yet. And then they were like, no, you did. And I was like, I don't see it. And he's like, you received it then. I check my bank account. Not only did I receive it, I received it forever ago. And the thing was, right, I received it on the same exact day I paid my taxes, which was more than what I received. So like I earned it and I spent it immediately and I never noticed it was there. So this happened last month. It was like the second to last week of class, but I got a jury duty letter. And normally when you text in, they don't really need you, right? But this time was the first time they actually needed me. So I had to go in, dressed kind of nice. There was a long line of people. I had to wait forever. And then they put you in a room, make you fill out forms. And in that form, they're like, do you have any reason you can't do jury duty? And I did because I had school. It was my second to last week of school. I had finals, so I put that. And then they stick you in a room, talk to you for like an hour. And then the judge like reviews all the people. And then luckily this judge is super cool. So everyone who said they couldn't do it, he allowed them to go, including me. And he gave us the rest of the year off. So that's my first jury duty experience. Honestly, I think I would like to do a jury duty at some point, but like not while I'm in my finals. You know what I mean? So school's out for me. This video is going to come out like a month from now, probably more, but school's out. It's currently summer. I'm on my week 2 of like summer. I finally have time again. So these videos are obviously going to keep getting posted because they're easy to make, but I want to try posting more on TikTok and YouTube. I want to create some stuff. So I don't want to say expect stuff because whenever I say expect stuff, I never post, but I should and I could. I have free time. I want to do so much of my time, but I'm also busy now because I have more trivia shows finally, because I can finally do trivia shows. I got a second job. I'll talk about that in the next video or something. But yeah, summer's cool. Besides the fact that all my parents are home all the time and they have to like nag me constantly. But you know, parents, that's how they are. So like I said in the last video, I have job stuff to talk about. Firstly, the trivia stuff. I got a new gig kind of at one of these establishments I already work at. But instead of doing trivia, I'm doing musical bingo, which I never heard about until right now. But it's so much fun to host. Literally, they give you like a whole playlist of songs and you press shuffle. And then like you just press forward. And basically it's just bingo. Like you hear the song and you mark it off. Obviously, I'm not playing, but I had the first week last week. And then I do the next one 2 days from now. But like, it's so much fun to host. It is a great time. If you live in the Temecula area, look it up on your America's Pub Quiz website and come join because it's fun. Second job I got is an audio job, which is great. Basically, I produce demos for people. I did that freelance for a long time, but this time I'm like hired by like a business, I guess, to do it. There's more details, but all you got to know is I got an audio job and I love doing audio stuff. So that's fun. So this happened like last week. I was going up the Riverside to drop some stuff off for my mom's teacher friend party. So I got there, dropped stuff off, and like I was parked where my mom wanted to park, so she made me move. So I moved my car, and then my mom was trying to pull or back into the parking spot, but her whole back window, like her back area over here, was just covered in balloons, so she couldn't see. And like I saw her creaking towards this car, and I'm like, she's definitely gonna hit this car. And then she hit the parked car. It went. And then my mom started freaking the hell out because like she just hit someone's car. It was one of the friend's husbands, so he was cool with it, I guess. But like she was like, I didn't know, which was like, right? My mom's car is a soccer mom car. It has so many safety features. I know for a fact she has a backup camera and she could have used that. And I also know for a fact her car beeps at her whenever she's near anything. So I know for a fact her car started beeping. And I know for a fact she could have used the backup camera, but she didn't. And that's what happens. You hit another car. So yesterday I went to Mexico, Rosarito, because that's where we go for our vet trip. We took my dog Hector, my new dog I talked about like a couple videos ago. He has like a skin or fur condition that we want to get checked out. I don't know what it is still, but that's not the important part. The important part is I went to Mexico, and it was like a super spontaneous thing, right? Like I wasn't supposed to go, and then I went, even though I had things to do. And like it was the first time I went on a Monday, kind of late, but like we did everything right. But the coolest part of the whole trip was normally on the way back we have to wait at the border for like 4 hours to cross. This time we were only there for like 15 minutes, and it was the greatest thing humanly possible. Like we got home at a reasonable time. Like normally we got home at the same time we would have if we went on a different day and waited 4 hours. So that was cool because we left late last night or yesterday, and then we arrived at the same time. Does that make sense? I guess. But border when it's empty is amazing. Kind of part two about this. We were in California. Now Mexico has special drivers, right? Mexican people, when they drive, they don't give a flying right? They'll just pull in, they'll be aggressive, they don't care, right? Like they can literally scratch their car and they don't give a shit. But in California, people are the worst drivers humanly possible. And I've said this before. Like literally I was in the carpool lane driving and like minding my own business. My mom's car was in cruise control, so it was basically driving itself. And like this car tried to merge in our lane. Like we were like right here, they were about to hit us. So I had to take the car out of cruise control, and I fucking pressed the horn, and like I couldn't hear the horn because I had music playing, so I didn't even know the horn was working. I swear to God, I laid on it for like 5 seconds before they even noticed I was honking at them, and then they moved out of the lane. Like my mom was like almost screaming because it was on her side. Like it's just California drivers, I swear to God, do not know how to drive. That I will say that to the end of the days. I guess part three of the Mexico thing. I got another new dog. I have 5 dogs again. I know I literally just made a video about getting another new dog in Hector, but my mom wanted her like own dog because the other dog's kind of like the men more in the family. And so we got this like rodent chihuahua that looks like it's mixed with like a pit bull or something because it has an underbite. Her name's Olivia. I call her Dientes, which is like teeth in Spanish. Cute, but this dog's a literal crackhead. It's a little puppy. It's only like a year old. This dog has so much energy and she loves giving kisses. So like I'll just be minding my own business and just they'll come up and just like jump on my lap and give me kisses. She can jump so high. But like it's cute. She's cute. Looks like a rodent. Has really long chihuahua legs. But like this dog's a crackhead, bro. And I tried walking her today and like she did not want to go for a walk for it. Like she couldn't walk. She kept trying to jump on me and my dog Lobita got annoyed because we had to stop every 2 seconds to help her. It's cute, but it's a crackhead chihuahua. And then kind of part two of the dog story. So like on my walk, like I said, it was a pain in the ass to walk. At one point, like these neighborhood dogs started barking at her and it scared the shit out of her, which I feel for her. But the harness we just bought was pretty loose, I guess. So she like slipped out of it immediately. And luckily she didn't run away. I just told her like come back and she like jumped on me. But I had to put that back on her. And it was just a whole pain in the ass. And I was like, I told my mom, I was like, since this is your dog, you like, you know, you gotta like train it. And then my mom's like I said she wanted her own dog, but she doesn't want the responsibilities of taking care of a dog. That's my job, right? So I was literally like lecturing her. Like if like she asked me to get a dog, I was lecturing her. I was like, if this is your dog, mommy, you have to take care of her. You have to train her. And she's like, no. That's your job. You do that. Like, all she wants is a dog to love her, right? She doesn't want to do anything else. She just wants a dog that'll love her and then nothing else. So that's my job, right? I don't know. I don't want to call it annoying because I love the dog, but damn. Okay, last video. I know I should separate these and do it in different days and not just batch record it, but I kind of like doing it this way, so I'm sorry. Anyways, I just finished a show in Lake Elsinore. Now, this show used to be my show back in the day until school semester hit and I couldn't do it anymore, so someone else took it over. But now they can't do it, so I took it back. And this show, it's a special show, right? It's in Lake Elsinore, like I said, and it's at an outlet, and this outlet has been dead for years, but the restaurant's here. And this show is always so dead. Like tonight I had 2 teams only, and like 90% of the time it's like that, and like 10% of the time it's packed. But this is the 90%. So both of these teams had to leave early, so I literally had to rush the show to finish it, because if they would have left, I would have had to cancel it. But and then like right when I finished, it got packed. And I was like, where were you guys 2 hours ago? But like this show, it's just a nice venue, but like this show just sucks the soul out of me because it's always so dead and it's not fun, but I get paid, and that's all I care about is that I get paid. Welcome back to Andrew Sits in his car and tells a lot of stories because he doesn't do this over time. He does it all at once while sitting in his car in the middle of nowhere. As always, I have a bunch of stories to go over because I don't separate these. But a lot of stuff has happened. It's currently June, I don't know, 24, I forget. But I've gotten a year older. My birthday just passed. I'll talk about that in a sec. But summer so far has been pretty good, I guess. I've gotten some work done. Again, I'll talk about all this stuff. But I just wanted to use this as an introduction video to tell you, like, once again, I have failed to separate these videos and talk about the stuff when it happens because I am a great, like I said, YouTube person. Or TikTok. Watch me on TikTok too. So if you remember on these last batch of videos, I talked about how I got a new Chihuahua, a new dog. I recorded that video on Tuesday, and literally the next day, I was home alone, and this dog somehow escaped our house. I now know, sure, that it escaped through, like, our gate, because it, like, somehow squeezed between the bars and got out. So, like, I was working in the garage, and I come out to go play with my dogs, and then she's not there. I look all around the house, not there. So, like, I spend hours, like, in my car looking, like, driving around, could not find her. I even printed out flyers for the first time in my life, could not find her. This might be a two-part story, but, like, I spent basically the entire day trying to find this dog, and to no avail, until luckily my mom posted it on this app called Nextdoor. I've never heard of it till now, and good news came out of that. Well, I'll tell you in part two. So part two of my lost dog story, my mom posted it on Nextdoor, which is kind of like a social media app for your neighborhood. And what she did was she posted that we lost our dog, and then some random person posted that they found a dog completely unrelated, and it was our dog, of course. So the people on the app, super cool people, they found my mom's post and sent it to her, and then we got in hold of her. But she didn't use the app regularly, I guess, because we messaged her, and then she didn't respond until, like, the next day. So we spent, like, hours knowing that someone had our dog, so it's good that she's not, like, running around in the middle of the street. But it took a day to reply, and then we finally got her reply back. We finally met up, and we got our dog back, and now our backyard is completely, like, hole filled. Like, there's no way she can escape anymore. She's been with us for a long time, and she is adorable. Nothing bad has happened since. Knock on wood. There's no wood here. But more about this dog. Like I said, she hasn't escaped anymore. But this dog, this dog is a total, lack of better phrase, a total crackhead, right? Like, this dog has so much energy. She's just a puppy. Like, she's like a year old, I think. But this dog just loves to, like, jump around. And she's such a jealous little puppy. Like, I have 4 dogs besides her, right? 4 other dogs. And whenever any of those dogs try to, like, show me affection, or I try to, like, pet them, she gets super jealous and starts, like, barking at them. She tries to fight all my dogs, which is how I can't walk her with my other dogs, because she just tries to fight them. And, like, her thing is, like, she loves kissing, right? Or grooming, I guess. But, like, she'll literally just, like, jump on my bed while I'm sleeping and start kissing my face while I'm trying to sleep. Not just me, though. Everybody. And, like, it's annoying, but it's also adorable. But this dog, definition of a crackhead dog. She's just nothing but pure energy. Here's a story you won't care about, but I'll talk about it anyways, because this is basically the entire point of my channel right now. But I had to get all my tires replaced on my car, because first I just wanted to rotate them because my tread was low, but not like super low, but low enough that the car person was like, no, yeah, you got to replace them. So I was going to replace my front tires, but apparently my back tires were actually worse because my car was misaligned. So my back tires, the inner tread that I couldn't see from, like, my, like, side, it was completely worn out, right? So I had to get all 4 of my tires replaced, and I had to open a whole new credit card for it. I'm not, like, super broke anymore because I work a lot in the summer now, so I had the money for it. But, like, I don't know. It went from, like, a free transaction, because high rotation was free, and it ended up costing me, like, $600. And I still got to get work done because my car's not completely aligned yet. So it's going to end up costing me, like, $700. So I went from free car fix to $700 later. Car life. Okay, so like I talked about in my opening video, it was my birthday recently. So I'm now 24, which is great. But the 17th, which is the Saturday, I had my birthday party, so not on my birthday. It was at my friend Daisy's house. Shout out Daisy. But that whole day was me trying to, like, I don't know, have fun, I guess. I planned games for everyone to play. Like, we had like a competition game where like I played a bunch of games, or I made people play a bunch of games, and we had like teams. That was fun. But the thing I want to talk about, which is like completely unrelated, kind of, but a Latino tradition, I don't know if it's every culture, but Latino tradition is if you're a birthday person, you're getting a cake in your face, right? Like, you have to. But for some reason, I never like expected that. I don't know why. But when everyone's saying happy birthday to me, and then I look up and there's someone throwing a cupcake at my face, I was like, what? And I got a cupcake in my face, all over me, all over my beard, all over everything. And I was like, at that moment, I was like, why didn't I see this coming? Like, I was internally mad at myself. Like, I wasn't mad at the cupcake in my face. I'm mad that I didn't see it coming. But overall, day was fun. So, on my birthday, which was the 21st of Wednesday, I forgot my birthday for some reason, we went to a Korean barbecue. It was a place where you cook your own food. I took me, my mom, and my brother because my dad was out of town. I don't think my dad would have liked it anyways, because it's one of the places where you cook your own food. My mom's never been there. I've been there enough times that I know what to do, and my brother's been there a couple times because I've taken him. But the thing about this thing was, my mom is 100% Mexican, right? Like, she's never been to anything Korean barbecue-ish like that. So, like, we were getting the meats they give you, and, like, you ordered steak. And, like, my mom, she asked me, she was like, you think if I asked if they had guacamole, they'd give me some? I just looked at her like, why would they have guacamole? This is Korean barbecue. Like, I get it. Like, I'm sure she would have, like, preferred it that way because that's what she knows. But, like, that's just a random thing to ask. Like, have you guys ever had, like, a Latino parent or, like, any kind of parents go to, like, a different kind of culture restaurant and ask for, like, a tortilla or something? You know what I mean? Like, it was normal, but it was also weird at the same time. Final story, because I don't really have a lot to talk about during the summer. I don't really do much. I just stay at home usually and, like, work on stuff, or say I'll work on stuff. But I guess I can talk about trivia and such. So, like I mentioned, I think in the last batch, I do musical bingo now. And it's fun. The first time was fun because we played a bunch of songs from the 2010s. But recently we've been playing a lot what I call booming boomer bops, which is basically just a bunch of old people stuff. Because I didn't know, like, half the shit we were playing, but all the old people were starting to, like, sing along. So I guess if they're having a good time, that's great. But so far I'm in, like, a trivia, I don't want to say a rut, but my craft brewing show is super light, like always, like I said. So there's, like, barely anyone there. And if no one's there, I have no one to bounce off of because I like to interact with the crowd. So if no one interacts with me, I'm just, like, not having fun, I guess. So I don't want to say I'm in a rut because it's still fun, but, like, I've had better times. Let's put it that way. So I have multiple stories to tell that are going to, like, intertwine with each other and turn to, like, one big narrative arc, I guess. But I don't know how many videos this is going to take. So just know these next couple of videos will probably be, like, interconnected. So watch them all, basically. But basically a couple days ago when I was recording the last batch of videos, if you saw, I went to Macy's right after that. So I went to go buy some clothes because I have a credit card and I had a coupon for, like, 25% off. So I was like, okay, gotta do it. So I bought some stuff. And then when I go to pay, I look at the total and it was, like, more than I expected. So I was like, I thought it was only 25% off because I applied 2 different coupons to it. Apparently, it's not 25% off of everything. It's only 25% off of specific items. And out of the 4 things I bought, only 1 thing was 25% off. So in total, I only saved $5, which is fucking stupid. So part 2 of the story, I'm mad that I spent way more than I wanted to, and I didn't get the deal I wanted. So I was like, so I went to go to one of my favorite places at any mall, Wetzel's Pretzels. I don't know why I like it. It's not even that good, but I like it. I go get some cinnamon bites, whatever you fucking call them, and lemonade. And the guy working there, he was like, would you also like to get a cream dip or whatever? Now, in my head, I was like, sure. So I said, sure. But then I realized it cost money to get dip. So this dude literally upselled me, and I was stupid enough to say yes to it, which pisses me off. I hate being upselled. Like, it's good business, but I'm like, why you gotta take more money from me, man? So I spent more money again that I didn't want to spend. So now I'm mad that Macy's screwed me, and now I'm mad that I screwed myself in Wetzel's Pretzels. So I just went home, ate my pretzels, and it was mad. So part 3 to this story. So I get home, start taking all my clothes out, and I realized that the pants I bought, the lady working didn't take my goddamn security tag off. So I had to go all the way back. But I didn't go until the next day. So this all happened Saturday. So I didn't go till Sunday, which is the same day I have my trivia show. And I couldn't take the security tag off myself because it has a little, like, instruction that says if you try to take this off, there's little ink blotches and they'll ruin your pants, which is annoying, but it's security, I guess. So So I had to go yesterday, but I had to go before my show because if I went after, Macy's would have been closed. So I had to go before, which messed up my entire schedule, right? But I go there, I find some lady and they're like, oh yeah. I walk in and the thing starts beeping finally. Not when I left, but when I walk in, it started beeping. But I found a lady and she took it off. And then I was like, cool. So somehow this affected me in a very negative way, and I'll explain it in the next video. But everything's interconnected because this lady forgot to take my security tag off. Something very embarrassing happened to me the next day during trivia, or the next hour in trivia. So I'll explain that right now. So part 4 of this story, I think, this story is going to involve bathroom talk. So if you don't like bathroom talk, skip this video. But normally, before I do my shows, I always take a poop, right? Because I don't want to poop during my show, obviously. So I couldn't do that because I went to Macy's and I didn't have to poop while I was in Macy's, so I didn't go. But this affected me because now I'm in the middle of my show and like I'm halfway done with the show and my stomach is like, and I'm like, okay, I gotta hold it because I can't poop during the middle of my trivia show, right? So I'm holding it in. I am struggling. Like it literally started affecting my show because I was just like trying to talk to the mic. The next question. Jesus. I wasn't that dramatic, obviously. I held it in pretty good. And then the worst thing happened. I was like, okay, this is not going to happen. I have to game plan. How am I going to poop during my trivia show? Part 5, I think. So I've come to the conclusion. I got to right? If you missed the last episodes, watch those before you watch this because you'll be confused. But I got to poop, right? So I come up with the most genius strategy ever. So we play songs between every question. So the one song I have that I know is long is Stairway to Heaven, right? That is like a 9-minute song. So I put that on and I had to wait like 1 minute because there's people using the bathroom. So I had to wait for them. And at this point I'm bursting, right? Like I was literally 5 seconds away from myself. And then they finally opened the door. I finally went inside and I let loose. Like it was an explosion. And then like I had to wipe fucking quickly because I was on the clock. And I finished and I fucking, not ran to my computer, but I speed walked to my computer and I made it right when the song ended. And literally nobody noticed I was gone for so long because everyone was so distracted, but it was so awful. And then, I don't know, part 6 of the story, I forget. I avoided all catastrophes. One of my worst fears just happened. I avoided everything. No one noticed. I told one of my trivia regulars or my friends. I told them because it was funny. But then after the show, I still had some business to take care of, you know? So I had to finish. And like me finishing was like worse than when it was happening because it was longer and it was more extraneous, I guess. And then like I literally like took like 15-20 minutes to finish. And then the bar was already closed, so I got out and the bartender was also my friend because she's super cool. I was like, I'm gonna call her Sarah. I was like, Sarah, I'm so sorry. She's like, what did you do? And I'm like, I had to finish what I started. I didn't leave the bathroom mess, I don't think. No, I didn't. But I still felt bad, right? And she's like, do you want to clean it? And I'm like, not really. No. But no, this is one of the worst moments in my life, in my trivia life. It was awful. And then finally, I have a today story. I went to go play trivia, not host trivia, but play trivia this time with the trivia regulars I told you about in the last video who are also my friends. I went to go play because I haven't played in forever. I'm awful at trivia. I want to get that straight. I'm awful at trivia. There's a reason I tell people all the time. This is why I don't play I host because I'm fucking stupid. But like I actually did good. Because they had video game questions, right? I know video games. Like, the halftime question was, like, video games, like, match the character to the series. It was, like, Samus, Zelda, all that stuff. I was, like, I knew it immediately. But it was cool because I like to experience different hosts. Like, this host who was hosting, she's the nicest human being ever. I trained her. She's fantastic. Shout out Des if you're watching this. But it's nice to watch other people and have their perspectives on the show. And then, like, me, like, playing. I don't know. It was just a cool experience. And we won first place. Not because of me, but we won first place. I want to talk about this driving pet peeve I have. I know I talk about driving pet peeves a lot, but this is one of them. This just happened to me again today. But you know when you do an unprotected left turn? So like when you want to turn left, but you got to wait for anyone who's going straight. One of my pet peeves is when people who are in the other lane don't put their fucking turn signals on. So like you basically have to guess if they're going straight or turning left. And it's like, how hard is it like to move one stick and just have an arrow pointing? Because now, I don't know if you're turning left. I don't know if you're turning straight. So I have to wait for you, even though you're turning right. You know what I mean? I see this happen so many times that it just annoys the hell out of me. Like, use your turn signals. They're there for a reason. Just in general, too. If you want to merge a lane, use your turn signals. It's not that hard. My pet peeve. So I want to talk about this real quick. So I just subbed at a show. I was like an emergency sub because the original host, their car broke down. And they called me and they're like, Andrew, I need you. And I'm like, okay. So that I was late to the show because they called me with like 15 minutes left before the show started. And I live like 30 minutes away. So we started like 30 minutes late. That's okay. I'm really good at what I do, right? So we finished at a reasonable amount of time. That's not what I want to talk about, though. What I want to talk about is what I love when I sub people's show. And the people who know me already, they're like, oh, Andrew, we love your show. Like, we love the way you do things. That's not a diss on the other hosts, right? Like, the other hosts, they're all fantastic. Everyone has their own, like, taste, right? I've subbed other people's shows, and they're like, we want the other host back. We hate you. That's fine, right? I just love, it's an ego boost for me when people are like, oh, Andrew, we love your show. You're such a great host. I'm a trivia icon. I'm a big deal. I don't know what I'm saying anymore, but yeah, I just love it. I have so many videos to go through right now, but I want to tell this story first. So I've been on a trip this weekend, and then immediately when I got home, I had to go to work. So my brain cells are like fried because I'm so exhausted, but I still did trivia. So when I do trivia tired, it's just absolute chaos. So my favorite thing to do is like annoy the shit out of all my patrons. So today we had a question. It was like, which of these like famous musicians never made the Hall of Fame or something like that. And one of the names was like Fats Domino. So I read the name and then I was like, who the fuck is Fats Domino? And everyone was like, what? You don't know Fats Domino? And I'm like, what? Is he famous for eating fucking pizzas? And everyone got so pissed off at me, bro. It was so funny. It was like 5 minutes, everyone just yelling, how do you not know who Fats Domino is? I've never heard of that name in my entire life. And I did other things too, but I'll tell it in a different video. But I just wanted to tell you that right now. I haven't recorded a video in a while now. I'm about to run out of videos. I kid you not, I have been sick with a cough for like 3 weeks now. And I've been waiting and waiting until it goes away so I can start recording these again. And it still hasn't, right? I'm trying my best not to cough during these videos. But I went to the doctors this week. Turns out I have bronchitis. So, yeah. I'm literally, I have to record now because I'm gonna run out of videos. So, I'm gonna try my best to record a bunch of stories over the next couple of days because I have a lot to go over, like a lot of July stuff. We're in August right now. It's currently August 10, I think. I forget. So yeah, welcome to Andrew, still sick, but has to make videos for you guys to watch. Woo! So while we're on the topic of me being sick, let's talk about the sickness. So like 3 weeks ago, I had like a little cough happening every once in a while, and I was like, whatever, it'll go away. And then it never went away, right? And I started taking like Robitussin and like some like Dayquil and NyQuil, and it never went away. And then this week, or like last weekend, it got really bad, and I just started coughing and coughing. And it's hard to have a cough, right, when I do my trivia job because I have to talk on a mic, so it just started f***ing up my throat. And I had to go to the doctor. It turns out I have bronchitis, and I'm on these pills, but like I'm still coughing. So I don't know when it's gonna go away. I am so sick of coughing, bro. Like, I do it all the time. And like, I've had to re-record some of these videos already because I just start coughing in the middle of them. But yeah, it's off. Bronchitis, awful. Can confirm, don't get bronchitis. So I've been playing trivia a lot, actually. Not hosting it, but playing it a lot recently at a different shows or a different host show with some of my regulars who come to my show. And I have I'm not very like good with trivia, right? But I have a very niche understanding of things. So like if there's a sports question or like a video game question or like anything that's like 2010s and above, I got it, right? Which is not very often. So like I'm like needed like twice a game maybe. But it's nice to like see other hosts like way of playing, I guess, way of hosting. Even though this is a host I trained, right? But it's still nice to see other people's perspectives. And it's still fun to play. Trivia is fun. If you haven't played trivia before, play it. But it's definitely a good way to make me feel stupid because, I don't know. I mean, they're not really like aimed, the questions aren't really like aimed towards my demographic, I guess. But like, you know, I don't know. It's still fun. I just want to talk about it. If I planned these videos out properly, which I probably didn't, but this should be episode 100 of my mini stories, life journey stuff. Firstly, thank you guys so much for watching. This is a lot of fun to make. I don't have any plans to stop making it because, I don't know, it's fun, it's easy. I like talking about myself. But I have a special video planned that I hopefully released properly. But I wanted to like do a compilation of parts 1 through 100, like one big video. Kind of like I don't want to say like a podcast, but kind of like a podcast, I guess. So hopefully I drop that. Hopefully you guys enjoy that when I drop it. But yeah, I'll see you guys on episode 200. Hopefully we make it that far. I think we should. But yeah, like I said, thank you guys so much for watching. And here's the part 100 and beyond.